Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago Psychic and Intuitive Consultant Mel Doerr, and I'm so excited. We've got Linda G in the house, and she's out of curlers.
I didn't put my curlers on for this occasion. Maybe I'll start making it that my thing where I always wear curlers.
Well, what is it, Danny, the bathrobe?
Yeah.
And, I think I'm going to call myself the Aloha shirt psychic. How's
There
that?
you go. That fits. That definitely fits.
How about the crazy ass psychic? Sorry.
You know what I watched last night for the first time in a long time? Like the 2006 version of Poseidon
Wow.
with, I don't know, the actor. Russell was in it.
When I was in high school, I worked in a movie theater. I think we made like 75.
Can you put this on pause?
I'm sorry?
Put this on pause.
Oh, okay, hold on one second. Hi, everybody. We had to pause for a second, but we're back. We needed Linda and I. It's tea with Linda and Mel. We had to take a sip of our tea.
Take a sip of our tea. Because all of a sudden I started, it was almost like I breathed in something.
It goes down the pipe sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. I've got a lot of good questions.
Oh, yay. Good. I like questions.
All righty. Shall we get started?
One of my predictions is coming true.
When was that? They all do. I mean, most of them.
Well, that guy, what's his name? The very rich man that did $250 million bail. Barack?
Barack. Or whatever.
He didn't exit. Everybody was saying, is he going to take off? And I said, no. So go ahead.
No, according to what I heard, the judge put him under with a monitor, and he's on curfew, and he's only allowed to go X amount of places,
and he can't use his personal plane.
And he can't leave Southern California. He had to surrender his passport. I mean, he's very limited with what he can do.
And they're watching him like a hawk.
Oh,
the other thing is, I feared for him that some people are after him, so he might want to be under the protection of the law, because outsiders feel like they want to, make him shut up.
I see a lot of threats against him. I guess we're asking if he's going to flip on Trump, but he's got enough money where he doesn't have to.
I wasn't feeling him flipping on Trump.
I don't feel that either. I do feel people will flip. I'm still thinking that Weaselberg might flip.
Yeah, well, I think if he does flip, it's because he fears for his life, and in exchange for big time protection, he would do it.
Well, for that, yes.
Or for his family, yeah.
And speaking while we're on that subject, people are saying, do we see any of the Trumps fleeing the country? I don't see that, no. And just to touch on that question, even if they did, the State Department, if they're under indictment, would, once they're indicted or they're charged, I think the State Department would revoke their passports. So.
Oh.
Well, that keeps them from fleeing the country.
There you go. There you go.
I still think Ivanka's going to flip on Donald. How about you?
Yeah, because she's not going to go down for him. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah. Okay. So these kind of go all around. Okay. If they develop a booster for COVID, will it replace the shot for people that haven't been vaccinated? No. That's why it's called a booster. You have to get the vaccine first.
Right.
Right.
I see every year, all of us like the flu shot.
That's what I'm saying. They'll just put it in one shot and you're good to go, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, this was a good one. Will it reveal who removed the panic buttons in Representative Presley's office in the Capitol building, and will it come out?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
And let me tell you, it's on Pelosi's mind.
Oh, of
She's
course.
not saying it out loud, but so they start the hearings tomorrow, which I believe are going to be televised. Not that my face won't be glued up against the TV.
I think I'll take off work so I can watch it.
And my poor dogs look.
I just told myself,
Mommy, can we go play us? Shut up!
If my office calls anybody and says I'm sick tomorrow, I'm just telling myself.
It's like when my boys were little. Jeffrey was. The OJ trials was 95 because I had a C-section with him. And I watched that OJ trial from the beginning to the end, every single day.
Oh, my mother was glued to the TV on that.
And my kids, boy, did they struggle. Mama, can I shut up? Don't make me a sandwich. You know, I didn't really talk to them like that.
Go play.
So we'll see about that button. I'm just going to do a quick layout, okay?
Okay. You know, my answer to that was, will they reveal who removed the panic buttons of the Presley's office? Spirit tells me the symbol of the open eye, which means knowledge and awareness. So the answer is yes. I see yes.
I see it absolutely being found out, but I also feel it's not necessarily someone in the house. It's one of their assistants.
Right. Right.
It feels like a man.
I'm not picking up the sex of it, but I do see that, or the gender, but I do see that symbol of the open eye, knowledge and awareness. So it will come out. You know, somebody had asked.
Can I tell you one other thing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I see someone spill their guts. So someone's going to say they know who did it.
Oh, good. Indictment. Yay. The other thing, you know, you and I have both predicted when McCarthy took those, when he just pulled all the Republicans off of that 911 commission, and both you and I
No,
have.
the six, not 911.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 911 was January the 6th.
January. Yeah, January 6th.
Anyway, you and I both have predicted that Kinzinger would stay on that committee. And some people said, no, he won't. Well, I just heard that Pelosi asked him to be on that committee, and he's going to be
He's on. He's already announced he's on.
Yep. But people are asking his fate. Will he get reelected because he's on this committee?
What state does he represent?
Illinois. And I see him reelected.
I hear yes.
I
hear yes. Let me double check. Hold on.
The Democrats might vote for him after this.
I feel yes.
So do I. I don't think it's gonna, you know, they're asking.
I don't think the repubes will do it.
No, they won't.
He might change his way.
Too. He might change independent. I don't know if he'd become a Democrat.
He might change independent.
The other thing is, do you see another Republican, a decent one, being added to that commission?
No.
Well, there's Cheney and there's him, but I don't see any more.
Cheney gets the 411 behind closed doors. She knows who's for, but they're all too chicken, you know what, to open up their mouths.
That's right.
She's even said on the news, oh, trust me, I talked to plenty of them and they believe in what we're doing. It's just they fear the wrath of Trump.
Well, they need to grow a set, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't like Cheney's politics, but I admire her for standing up.
Exactly. I don't like her politics, but I like the fact that she tells the truth. She's got more than her dad had.
That's true. Okay. It says, here's one about the Taliban. The brutal Taliban are decapitating people in Afghanistan. Will they succeed in taking control? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I see them taking control.
Yeah, but I do see them getting a lot of people out. I see them going in this week and removing them.
But you know what I'm seeing in Afghanistan, even though the Taliban might take control for a while, I'm seeing another group come in, another Islamic group that's not as radical. And I see that country going into almost a civil war. And then
because they're tired of being abused by these people.
Right. And then at some point, the Taliban is overthrown. That's going to take about 3 or 4 years, but we will see that in a lifetime. So that's what my guides show me.
Right.
Okay. This is a good one, being part Comanche. I looked this up before we got started. I'm probably mispronouncing his last name. Leonard, is it Peltier? He participated in an uprising. It wasn't an uprising, but it was really a protest for the Native Americans back in the 70s. And he was accused of shooting an FBI agent, which he didn't do. So somebody is asking if he'll be pardoned by President Biden for his participation in the Pine Ridge uprising in 70, whatever it was.
Yes.
He's very ill and in prison. He'd like to die in his native land.
Yes.
Yeah. I see him dying in his native land.
And I see Deborah. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
My friend Joy told me how, and I forgot already.
But
I feel that she goes to the president and says, let this man die in his own land.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are rooting for him. I'm one of them. So
yeah.
I'd like to see him die in his land. Anyway, okay, this is a good one. Can you see if Crazy Horse has been reincarnated to live in the present? I don't feel it. Mm-mm. For the life of me, I couldn't see why I'd want to come back.
Yeah, they're in a beautiful place there.
Exactly.
They're free.
Oh, here's a good one. What's DeJoy up to and when is he going?
I saw September for him.
He'll be gone.
He's going, I know, but I'm so sorry it's taken so long. But when everybody was asking not too long ago, I actually double looked in the cards and it said September.
Yeah, I see him out. I still see investigations all around him too, Linda. So
yeah, especially that where he made the people he worked with donate to Trump and then he paid him on the side.
Exactly. So he thinks he's out of the woods, but I don't think so. He's going to get in some trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. When do you see an end to this pandemic now that the Delta variant is causing its chaos and it seems we're heading back to where we started?
What?
It says, when do you see an end to this pandemic now that the Delta variant is causing its chaos? And then she said, seems we're headed back to where we started, meaning with COVID. I don't see another lockdown or shutdown or anything.
No, but I see mask mandate.
Right, that'll come back.
And did you listen to the news today? People
no,
are starting to get the vaccination.
I'm sorry?
People are starting to get the vaccination.
Well, I'm predicting there's going to be a lot of civil lawsuits against Fox News because they were telling people don't get vaccinated and da 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 da. And I think the anti-vaxxers are the ones that are fueling this Delta variant because had they gotten vaccinated, it would have slowed it down tremendously.
And also they're vaccinated. They're all vaccinated.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course. Now,
and someone on Twitter said, why don't you make it, you can't buy a gun unless you have a proof of vaccination.
Oh my God, everybody will be waiting in line.
What's going to happen is there's going to be, in fact, right now, the healthcare industry is saying, we're not going to have anybody work for us that isn't vaccinated. What's going to happen is insurance companies, which they're already putting under consideration, are going to say, you know what? We're not going to cover you when we had this vaccine and you could, it's like being a smoker. No, we're not going to cover you if you're doing something that's going to kill you.
I don't know if they can do that with pre-existing conditions going away, but they should be able to say, you got to get the vaccine,
Well, it's not a pre-existing condition, but it's also costing taxpayers enormous.
A lot of money, exactly.
So, if the government says in order to work for the government, you have to have the vaccine, I think the healthcare industry, or they allow them one time and they get sick again, forget it.
I got into a discussion the other day in my office, which I rarely do with politics. Believe it or not, I don't discuss politics at work too much, but somebody came in who wasn't vaccinated. And I said, well, we've all been vaccinated in my office. You have to wear your mask. And she's like, well, I don't want to wear a mask. And And I said, well, they're very simple. You don't get to stay here. And she said, well, it's my choice. I said, well, in my office, it's my choice that you wear a mask. And it's not your choice to infect other people. And she said, well, this vaccine and I said, look, it's your choice not to get vaccinated. But here again, you don't have the right to infect others. So you don't want to get the vaccine, stay home. That's what Macron told the people in France. And she got very indignant, but I really didn't care. It's like, no. I mean, it's sad that these anti-vaxxers are listening to this stuff, this rhetoric coming
from
out.
People who have been vaccinated.
Exactly. And unfortunately, those people listening to that stuff are dying. It's sad. But did you notice how a lot of the repubes, as you call them, are doing it about face and the whole vaccination thing?
Well, that's because corporate America got in there.
That's right.
When that drop happened with the stock market, that's when they hit them up and said, we don't get them vaccinated so we don't go through another Armageddon.
Exactly. Now, you probably heard this question a million times as I have. Well, yes, I'm 21 years old. Oh, another question? I'm only 29. Yeah, right. I'm putting some curlers in my hair. Oh, geez.
There you go.
All right. Why hasn't Trump been indicted? I've answered this question a million times. Why hasn't Trump been indicted?
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming up even this week.
I think it's so much. At some point, they're going to have so much on him. It's like, where do we start?
I know.
You just throw something and see what sticks.
Let me tell you something. They'll touch him last, and let me tell you why that is. Because if you indict Trump or even try to put him in jail, there will be such a blistering riots.
Oh yeah.
How dare you take? It's almost because he was president. But here's what's going to happen. It might take a couple of years, and he might not even be alive when this happens. But they're going to go back and totally illegitimize him that he was ever a president because he used a foreign nation to become president.
I've heard you say that.
All that stuff's going to happen. I see them not wanting to put him in jail, but they will indict him, and it's all about money. But I don't see him going to jail. I know people get mad, but did you see him going to jail?
No, I never have seen him going to jail. I saw indictments, but I've never seen Trump going to jail. And I like you, at some point I see his presidency will be delegitimized, but it might be after he's dead. Mm-hmm. The other thing that this brings up, now this is a Mel question that I know people will want to ask it, this thing with Kavanaugh, and you and I have both said he's going to be off the court, but now all this stuff is coming out about how the FBI gave all these tips and the Trump DOJ did nothing.
Nothing.
So
somebody today was talking about the FBI. When they hear chatter, they usually let people know this is the chatter that's going on. This is what you need to look out for. There was chatter on January 6th and they did nothing.
Nothing.
Or they did and it was pushed aside.
I think a lot of them tried and Trump just pushed it aside.
Yeah.
The other thing about Kavanaugh is I see some kind of congressional hearing or something like that.
Yes, I saw him before them saying, I like beer. But I see that going on, but I also see this isn't necessarily about all those people that complained about him. This is going to be about money.
About money, the dark money, but that also I think they're going to get him because he lied to Congress.
Yeah, that's their, because somebody said it's near impossible to get rid of someone that's been confirmed. And that's not what my guide said.
Well, I think you have to go through the impeachment process, and I don't know how that works with a Supreme Court justice.
Right.
What will happen? Shall we pause or no?
No, that's okay. It's the pet store because I called them and told them that bird I had not even 5 days died. Oh. So they're probably just sending their condolences.
I'm sorry about the bird, by the way.
I know. I called him Great Eagle.
Oh,
he was in the Jack birthday video.
Oh,
you can get a glimpse of him, but he didn't live very long. Poor baby.
It says, what is the spiritual source? What is the lesson spiritual source is trying to teach us with the COVID-19 variants kicking the collective crap out of the world? I like that question.
Yeah, well, it's part of that. It's like the earth is shaking out. It's shaking out. The earth isn't mad. People say Mother Earth is mad. The earth is reorganizing, balancing. It's part of the balance. And let me tell you something between you and me and the audience.
Just between you and me.
If we hadn't had this, he might have won.
Oh, you and I have talked about that. Had COVID not happened, Trump would have won the election. Absolutely.
Yeah. But when you let 500,000 people die and the families, they don't forget.
It's just sad that was maybe Spirit's way of waking everybody up to what was going on. Many of us knew what was going on with Trump, but to try to get him out of power. Right. But the other thing I think with COVID is it's a warning, I think, from Spirit that we've got to stop messing with our planet. Right. People say that the virus came out of a lab in China. Who knows? But there are viruses, and I've said this all along, and the rainforests that have been isolated for thousands and thousands of years, and you start deforesting those and messing with them, and those viruses are going to come out, and they're going to make COVID look like a holiday. I mean,
Right.
whoa! They can make Ebola, which is 30% fatal, look like a holiday. So
Right. Exactly.
it's a warning, I think.
Exactly.
Um, and sometimes technology can't save us.
Well, but the thing is, the things we have gone through. You remember that World at War
Yes.
with Tom Cruise, and what killed the aliens was the fact that they weren't. It's like the American Indians; they died of the diseases the white man brought in.
That happened to the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Millions of them died because of
So
gonorrhea, smallpox, measles.
right, but we have worked very hard to. We've had so many plagues. There's so many plagues. That's what took down the Roman Empire. 2 plagues back to back.
Well,
So
we think they can't happen, but one just did. I mean, wow. I mean, look at the bubonic plague or bubonic plague, however you pronounce it, in the Middle Ages. It wiped out over half of Europe. That's huge.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, so it's a warning, I think. And
yeah.
I think you're right. It's about balance, right?
Right. But when I was young, I remember taking the polio
Oh yeah.
vaccine. And I mean, we stood in line for it. I didn't realize the urgency of it.
Oh yeah. I
But 90% of Americans got that vaccine lickety split.
That's right.
Because nobody wanted to suffer from that.
Before I could go to school, first grade, you had to get a smallpox vaccination. You had to be 5 or 6 to get it. I remember the scab. You had to get a polio vaccine. You had to get diphtheria, something, I forget, all kinds of. But if you didn't get your vaccinations, they didn't let you go to school.
Exactly.
So that was in a southern state. So I don't understand all the hoopla now.
Well, but they didn't want their children dying,
I know people lost kids to polio. That's right. And unfortunately, people are losing children to COVID. It's not pretty. Anyway, do you see Beto O'Rourke running for governor of Texas or the Senate? My guide
running again.
My guide showed me that he will run at some point and he will win. I
saw him winning too. I thought it was this last time, and the guys right in the middle of me being excited saying, he's going to win. He's going to win. They said, no, Linda, not this time.
Right. Okay. Some people want to know, when do we see this mess with the Trump-licans going to end?
When it's going to happen when he's no longer an issue.
Well,
it's going to be a couple of years.
He's starting to fizzle anyway.
Right, and they in the midterms they're all thinking they got it in like Flynn.
I don't think so.
I mean, I could be wrong, but thus far my guys have been right, because especially that the midterms with Trump, when he went around saying you got to vote for me, and he thought he had it, and he only won 1 seat in the Senate. We won big time.
My guides have shown me we'll hang on to the House and the Senate. We have to really get out there and work for it.
We're going to win the Senate big time, by the way.
Big time. And I think we'll keep the House.
I do too. I don't feel it's as big of a thing as with the Senate, but
I mean, come on, with that tour he was doing with I call him T Rump, was doing, Cheeto Head was doing with Bill O'Reilly. I mean, they couldn't even fill the places.
Are they still doing it, or did they cancel it?
I don't know. I saw Trump rambling on something. I mean, I've got ADD. I ramble, but not like a madman like he does. Oh my God, that's crazy.
He had that big event in Florida, which, by the way, Florida is going to have another. They're already surging, and they're going to keep surging. They just don't care. And then all those young kids going to that big concert, that music concert. No, not a mask in the place.
People want to know what's going to happen to DeSatan. I call him DeSatan in Florida.
He's going to lose big time.
He's going to lose. People that ask him if he'll run for president, he might, but he will.
He's going to lose big time.
He's going to lose. I see him out of governorship of Florida as well.
Yeah.
And I see I'll tell you somebody else who's going to be gone is Abbott in Texas.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm going to sing my favorite song, Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead.
And who's in charge of Missouri? Is that a Republican?
That I don't know. I'll have to look up.
Because there was a big case just now. All the voters voted for extended Medicare.
Yes.
And the governor and the House decided, you guys don't need it. And someone took them to a higher court, and the court said, no, you can't do that. They voted for it. That's like them saying, oh, it's okay, you guys vote for who you want, but we can decide who wins. And if that goes to the Supreme Court, even though right now there's more repubes on it, they will turn around and say, no, you can't do that. It's against the Constitution.
That's my whole point. You know, and you know, I've been saying this, if it goes to the courts are going to say you cannot restrict people's right to vote, and you put it on a referendum, you have to uphold the law of your state at that time. If you don't like it, change the law. But right now, that was the law of that state.
Right.
So, and that segues into a question. Do you guys see universal health care or Medicare for all in the near future? I see it happening. I don't know if it's
I see it happening, but I don't know when.
Yeah, I'm seeing the number 5. It could be 5 years. I don't know, but it's a while off yet. Okay. Oh, will Harry and William mend their rift anytime soon?
I don't feel they have a rift.
I didn't think so either. I mean, I see them talking and laughing, so.
I see that he loves his brother and his brother loves him. I think the wives have the rift.
Oh, yeah. Well.
But I feel like that, you know, there is some disappointment from Harry about his brother, but I feel they actually get along better with him living elsewhere.
I think there's going to be brouhaha between the wives. You're right. But I think the brothers will, you know, some way or another iron it out with themselves. Okay, this is a good one. This is a very good one. Roe versus Wade future. She says, I'm not going to lie. I'm worried about women's choices disappearing. I don't see Roe v. Wade completely overturned.
I asked the cards the other day and it said, no, it wouldn't be overturned.
I don't think so. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I love this one. What happens to someone like Trump after they die? I say they just cease to exist.
Well, it's like Hitler.
Exactly.
It's eternal
nothingness.
It's awful.
It's just lights out.
But can I say something else when we're talking about Roe versus Wade? Down the road, they're going to come up with some more stuff about men being responsible, not just everything on the woman.
Oh, good. Yay.
So if you make a man responsible for his actions, you know, because no more of these guys can make a baby and then take off.
Well, the thing that bothers me is like a lot of companies and a lot of religions, Catholicism included, they say they don't believe in birth control. But while we're on the subject, insurance companies won't approve like birth control for a lot of women, but yet they'll approve Viagra for men. Hello. Yeah. If the man couldn't get the Viagra and couldn't get it up, we wouldn't have to worry about birth control, would we?
Right.
I'm on your side on that one.
Yeah, they're gonna actually turn around and start where men will be more responsible.
Did you hear that Donald Trump took a Viagra?
No.
Got stuck in his throat and he had a stiff neck for 3 hours.
That's somebody I think that has paid for abortions. Yeah.
Oh, totally. That'll come out at some point too.
Well, he's paid people to keep their mouth shut.
People asked me how tall he was. I said, I don't know, 6'1". Didn't know they pile crap that high. I'm sorry, I'm on a Trump roll today. Okay. I love this one. Oh, somebody from England, 2 questions from Great Britain. Number 1, all the way from the UK, will they go into another lockdown this winter in the UK? I don't see a lockdown. I just see mask mandates.
I see mask mandate. They've just gone through a horrible flooding in London.
Oh,
wow. Did you see that?
Yes. So
it's just horrible. Boy, those 4 places. There's a huge storm heading towards Ireland as we speak. And then again, there was also Germany and everybody that flooded. I mean, this is the beginning. Mother Earth is stretching her arms.
Mother Earth is telling us, you know what? Here's what I said, that nature will win. Nature will always win. And Mother Earth is saying you can no longer rape the planet anymore. We have to start taking responsibility. She's letting us know.
Well, it's all about balance. Balance is the key. And if it's not balanced, they'll do things to shake it up.
That's right.
Even plagues are about balance. They'll get rid of a big chunk of human beings.
That's right. But, now somebody from the UK also asked, will they go back into the European Union, because it says since they've left the European Union, that prices are
Oh,
higher.
yeah. And by the way, I don't know when Johnson's running again, but I see it's part of getting rid of Johnson and someone else comes in and gets them back into the European.
That's the next question. Will Boris Johnson be gone? And the answer is yes, he will be. And you and I had said all along when Britain left the European Union that they would be back in at some point, that this would just be temporary.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Goodbye, Boris. Maybe we should buy him some hair tonic or some hairspray so he can comb that hair of his out. It looks like he's got his finger in a wall socket, doesn't it?
Right, right.
Anyway, okay. Let me see here. Oh, this is good. Will there be any kind of assistance for college students? They are forgotten, and as parents, we need the supplement for them. So is there any kind of supplement or assistance for?
Well, the first 2 years of junior college is free. That will be free.
Yes.
And you get 2 years of junior college. I don't care if you're a straight A student. You do your junior college, you walk in as a junior in a regular college.
That's right.
So then I feel assistance with that, especially people with high GPAs. There'll be more money thrown at the colleges.
And then you don't have to, I think if you go to 2 years junior college and you keep up good grades, you don't have to take the ACT or the SAT to get in.
You don't have to, period, if you go to junior college. You don't have to take those tests.
When I grew up in Kentucky, and in Kentucky, if you've got a diploma from any state-supported high school, back in the day, no matter what you scored on the ACT, they would have to accept you into any state-supported university for at least a semester.
Oh.
You started on probation, so you had to get off the probation, but it was pretty good program because it gave everybody the right to go to school.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, okay. Let me see here. Oh, what kind of winter are we predicting for the Midwest? Well, it doesn't take a psychic to tell you that in Chicago, I see a really cold one coming with lots of snow.
Yeah, I see a cold one for Chicago.
Yep.
I'm seeing flooding in California too. That's weird.
I'm sorry?
I just saw flooding in California.
I do too. And that's amazing considering that in some places you all aren't getting too much rain, but.
Well, we're in a drought, but I see the skies open up. And I could see mudslides and everything.
Well, I don't think you're wrong on the mudslides, but I do see a lot of rain hitting California, flash flood, things like that.
It's almost like, well, we prayed for it.
Exactly. Watch what you pray for. Okay, somebody just says that they're sending their love. Many people did to Nicole and having her feel better. So
she has some difficulty sleeping, but every day she gets stronger. She does have to keep going back in, but it beats being admitted into the hospital.
Yeah,
she has to go every day.
Well, I kind of feel bad because I encourage her to go to the emergency room. So
right. No, she got it done.
When I talked to her, I said, don't mess with her.
She ended up in the emergency room, yeah.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad she went. Anyway. Oh, this is a good one. I guess there's a monkeypox happening that's similar to smallpox. And
I see nothing with that.
I don't either. I don't see anything with it at all. They have a vaccine for it already. So
okay. I see nothing with that.
Okay. Here again. Oh, this is a really good one. I used to be on the board of directors for an adoption agency, and we did a lot with human rights and a lot with prevention of domestic violence and a lot of getting kids out of bad situations. But it says, do you all see any significant changes coming to the foster care child welfare system in this country? The system has been a complete disaster for decades.
Yes.
It has been a disaster for decades.
Yeah.
But I see sweeping changes coming in that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, it's still a couple of years to go, but I do see us treating our youth better.
Yeah, I think, okay. Let me see here. Oh, this is a good one. Will the current COVID vaccines or the messenger RNA used in them prove to have any negative long-term effects in the next few years? And the answer I say is no, absolutely not.
Okay. Okay.
What do you feel with that? I don't see anything.
I don't.
Okay. Oh, this is good. Will the top GOP members who gave tours before January
Oh
6th
yeah, yeah. I
be
know what you're
indicted?
talking about. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that'll all be laid out, filleted in front of us.
good. And people are wanting to know what's going to come out of that commission. And we've just
I
answered.
don't think it's a nothing burger. I don't think it's a nothing burger at all. And they keep throwing crap at it. Jordan and Cartney and all those guys. Oh, this is what do they like to use the word that it's partisan? This is partisan. They're only picking the people that agree with them. But I think, tell me if I'm right or wrong. I thought I heard it's going to be televised.
I think so, yeah.
Might be C-SPAN, but I heard it's going to be televised.
It's funny. I think that McCarthy and those two guys that she wouldn't let on the committee, I can't think of their names right now.
And by the way, Jordan and
Banks.
I think Banks was one of the ones giving the tours. Mo, right. That guy Mo.
Right.
Yeah, they got him on camera.
Well, the reason that they're yapping about it, and McCarthy's done a whole about face. Remember at first he said, we'll get to the bottom of this and blah, blah, blah. And then he started running.
Trump, and Trump said, maybe they care more about me than you do.
Exactly. So who's running McCarthy? Trump. And my guide showed me, just like Joseph McCarthy, who was that total communist everywhere guy.
You saw what happened to him. He's a goner.
The exact thing's going to happen to this McCarthy.
Okay.
It must be the curse of the name or something. I don't know. But he's going to be gone. And the only reason they're yapping about it, my guides say, is because, if they yap about it and can try to do some kind of conspiracy theory, they'll think it'll divert the attention, because this commission is going to implicate these people somehow or another. I'm telling you.
Yep. Yay.
And they don't want.
What I see, and I'll just give you, because I get pictures. I see people running like, oh my God, did you hear this? Like fire, like the news on fire.
Exactly.
Oh my God, did you hear this? At first couple of days, it feels like it's sort of a nothing burger. And then it gets really fantastic. It's really going to take off.
Well, you're right, because in the beginning, it'll look like the Republicans will be like this and that. And so everybody's going to be questioning it. Wait a minute. And then all of a sudden, boom.
It just feels like something's going to kick into place.
It's going to be like some blockbuster news that'll come out of it. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, wow. And it's going to make the Republicans look really bad.
Yeah.
So actually, they don't realize they think that they're making themselves look and they'll get more votes, but really they're crucifying themselves.
Right.
Anyway, so that's about all the questions I have. We got a lot done.
We sure did. Took a little short break so I could cough.
I always enjoy doing this, my dear.
I always enjoy talking to you. You're so much fun.
Thank you. And Monday's tea with Linda and Mel, right?
There you go.
All right, sweetie.
Thank you, baby.
All right. Love you a lot. Please tell Nicole I said get better.
Okay, I sure will.
Yes.
I think she watches my show, because all of a sudden I got a text from her saying, Mom, I'm sorry, I didn't know your bird died. She didn't even know I had a bird. Most people didn't know. But my little great eagle was featured on the Jack birthday party on my videos. Jack had his 4th birthday. You know what, Mel? Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
The bird died and I didn't start screaming or yelling or calling for anybody. I had the bird in my hands and it took its last breath and its eyes closed. And I said, oh, and the dogs knew.
Oh yeah, they know.
They weren't attached to the bird, because the bird was in a cage and I wouldn't let the dogs get near it. I didn't want to scare it. But when we play ball, I have this little portable cage. I would take the bird outside and we'd play ball, but the dogs knew that something had happened. And when I went into my room, the dogs were sitting on I have a bench at the front of my bed, and they both, the look on their faces, I've never seen that look. Jack was looking at me like, oh, Mom, are you upset? You know,
Wow.
I went up to them and I hugged them, and they were just like so loving. They know, dogs know.
They just know. They're intuitive. They know, and they see spirit as well. You know, sometimes you'll see them go like, well, then when they turn their head, that's cute. They're just trying to get it. They're trying to hear. But when they turn their head a certain way and look, like they're looking at spirit. I'll tell you a funny dog story real quick.
What?
It always happens. Okay. So dog training is my passion, and we train dogs at my office on Sunday nights, and we're getting them ready for the Canine Good Citizen test. So one of the trainers, Angela, was telling one of the other people training their dogs there, now during the test, if we're outside and the dog pees outside, that's okay. They won't disqualify. But if we're inside and the dog pees or poos inside, instant disqualification. And I looked at her, I said, yeah, I don't have to worry about Lucky. She'd never do something like that. You know, she's just so well trained and blah, blah, blah. So we're talking, and I see Lucky come to me, and she's touching me. She's looking out the door. And I'm like, okay, Lucky, I don't see anything out there, because she's trained to let me know if something's out there. And she kept touching me. And I said, I don't see anything out there. And all of a sudden she looked at me and she peed on the floor.
She had to go pee-pee.
She had to go
Oh my God. So you got disqualified?
No, I didn't get disqualified because we weren't testing.
Oh.
I was like, Lucky would never do that. I
did a weird thing, these little dried chicken treats. And they were grabbing them so fast that I wanted to take a minute, hold on. So I put one on one side of the chair, kind of hanging out, and the other on the other side. And then I made them finish what they had in their mouth before they went up to try to grab the other one. And I told Jack, no. And he sniffs it, no. And I'm looking at Lulu, trying to get her to understand no, and she grabs it anyway. So I looked at Jack and said, yeah, go ahead. You can have it. That dog wouldn't grab it.
Oh.
Because I said no.
Yeah, that's Lucky. If I tell her leave it, she won't touch it until I say take it.
Yeah.
Which is a great
command
to leave it.
Lulu could care less.
We start talking about dogs, we'll be here all day.
I know. Bye, you guys. I got so much to do today. This is my only day off.
Love you tons. Thank you for doing this. And next time I'll be on your channel. How's that?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we'll set it up, okay?
Okay, honey. Bye.
Bye-bye.